Okay, enough of that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with the guitar, and they call me on the phone. They say, well, they used to call me on the phone. I'm sorry, man. They used to call me on the phone because it used to be a call-in show. They'd ask me questions. They say, like, hey, man, what's your show about? And I say, oh, it's about an hour. About guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So, you can't call me on the phone. You could tweet me, I suppose. We don't have a Twitter person standing by. But anyway, we deal with questions of guitars, guitar playing, all things guitaristic, how to play the guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, the care and feeding of your guitar, how to fix your guitar. Of course, technical aspects of playing the guitar. We could talk about related topics like the guitarrón, the sitar, the guitarra, tritoles, lutes, uds, vihuelas, banjos, balalaikas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, bajos, cincos, bandurias, bandolins and mandolins and mandoras and mandolas, mandocellos. That's it, lutes, uds, vihuelas. Piccolos, pipe organs, harmoniums, harmonicas, and harpsichords. You know, anything you can play, I guess, pluck on. Balalaikas, bazookies, I probably said that right. Okay, anything musical is fine. Clarinets and clavinets, you know, trombones, tromborinas, tubas, timbales, timpani. And of course, politics, world events, people's personality problems. But it's all fair game here, but we'll try to keep it clean. This is a family program. All right, so I think I've had this guitar here on the show before. This is a Fender Telecaster, a Mexican-made Telecaster from 2008, 2007. Let's see, what does this say here? Hang on. You can tell by the serial number. It's 2008 model. It's 10 years old. I got it. It was in a box in the basement of a music store someplace. So it was like new old stock. And oh boy. Hey. Oh, it's another one. Okay, we got a crew. Got a cast of thousands. You know, we don't have Bob. But somebody's going to have to come in. Yeah, maybe we shall take our turns, but a little later on. You can take. Maybe you'd like to be on camera too later on, but wouldn't be your first time here. Anyway, wait a minute. Okay, so here we go. Okay, this is a 2008. We've just established Fender Telecaster made in Ensenada, California, down in Baja. Baja, is that right? I think. But it had the white pickguard. It was kind of noisy, so what I did is I put these Seymour Duncan noiseless pickups, which aren't all that noiseless, really. I wish they were less noisy, and a black pickguard. My only complaint now is I have these chrome screws, and I think I'm going to replace those with black screws, so it'll be really like, you know. And this color is called Midnight Wine. It depends on how good your TV is or whatever. But it's a very dark red. Okay, so I'm playing this, and we'll see. I don't know if you can hear this at home, but this is what it sounds like with no noise reduction. So I've got an MXR SmartGate on the anti-hiss, the lowest setting. It just takes a little bit of that buzz off it. Okay, so. That's right, anything worth playing is worth playing in tune. I was thought that was like the most somber A minor chord. I kind of like. Well, that's definitely the end, right? Yeah. Well, we have Sarah here. So for years now, Bob has been the second banana, but he's snowbirding in Las Vegas. So somebody, put a camera on Sarah. So Bob's been snowboarding. So I've had DJ Commando. He's not here every week, So we had Donna. She's been she's a second banana, but Donna just called in and said she's not coming. But now we have Sarah. So listen, you're no Bob, and you're certainly no DJ Commando. But you do a really good job of Sarah. That's what I thought. So.
I know myself the best.
I said, I hope so. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, well, Sarah's actually she's the leader, the president of our fundraising committee, which is something a lot of us have been thinking about a lot lately. I mean, raising funds for this nonprofit station there,
We think a lot.
Yeah, we think about it a lot. We don't do anything, but you had your,
Trying.
you did your thing. But anyway, I did something. I got like 50 kazoos or something like that for the.
50 kazoos.
Did they come in handy?
Our big gala.
Yeah.
People are still playing the kazoo today because of your efforts.
That's the sort of quirk I have about wanting to pass out musical instruments. We don't have her on camera or on the. We haven't switched to her yet, have we?
It's okay. It
Oh.
was there for a minute. That's good.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't see it. Okay. Oh, I put it back. Yeah. Okay. No, there she is. Okay. All right. Yeah. I look over here, then I don't see this. You're not supposed to look at the monitor when you're on TV. You should never look at the monitor. I always was a rebel, but anyway. Yeah. So, but you're a dancer, right? You danced in my Christmas show.
Yes, and I dressed Bob in a Santa Claus suit, so that was fun. I was a reindeer and he was Santa.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't dance, but he was in his Santa suit, so that was good.
He didn't do bad Santa, I don't think.
No, not at all. He was natural.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. He's a shapely man. He doesn't need the extra padding. I played Santa one year at Willowin School, and it seemed like the kids. I was handing out presents. They didn't say you have any problem believing in me for some because I was handing out presents, but I was rather slender at the time. I like to think that I really couldn't do a good Santa without extra padding now, but even then I was. Never mind. Okay. So yeah. So you said you're going to come down and do an interpretive dance in my show sometime. Probably not today. But I don't know if we're ready for that. But
But I can anytime.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have in mind? What kind of like?
Well, the reindeer suit is kind of.
It's passe.
seasoned.
Yeah, it's passe right now. I wouldn't do that.
Right. Not that you can't be a reindeer any time of year.
Well, reindeer are reindeer year round.
Yeah, they prefer it to be cold though, so they're having a little trouble right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. What's the difference between a caribou and a reindeer? Which side of the fence they're on. That's the only difference. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have ideas outside of reindeers, that's my only onesie outfit that I own. But I have plenty of other fun tutus and masks and.
I was thinking about maybe I should wear a tutu, but I thought about that. It was about 1.5 seconds before I just missed it.
I think we should think harder about this.
Well, I'm not the kind of guy, really. I'm not the tutu kind of
It
guy.
just goes over your clothes.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
It'd be really uncomfortable if it went under your clothes.
we wear tights. I can wear like red long underwear.
There you go.
And then, yeah, and then these big boots. You see,
It's as if our Christmas extravaganza is taking shape right now.
Oh yeah, right. Well, quite honestly, what I think about the TV station is I'm not entirely sure we're going to have another Christmas extravaganza. Like every year, I've been sure that we'll do it again next year.
Yeah,
But this is the first year I'm not sure,
right.
because I worry about these things. I brood about this issue I don't think I was thinking about announcing it today, and I've weighed the pros and cons, but I decided I don't care whether it's blurted out anyways. The thing is that we, as a television station, as a nonprofit organization, which is funded by, we're a cable television station. We are the people's station, public, power to the people, and community media is my buzzwords, I guess. But because of the state franchise law that was enacted some years ago, we are coming to the end of our contract in August, which means our usual cable television funding sources, the same thing that funds ESPN and all the other ones, is most likely coming to an end. So we got to figure out a way to survive. Well, not forever, because in a couple billion years, the sun's going to get all swollen up, it's going to explode. And by that time, PATV is going to be gone, unless we can do it on another planet, another solar system. We'd have to leave the solar system.
Adjustments are going to be need to be made for weather.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, but personally, I've been worrying about this a lot, you know, ever since the state franchise thing came about years ago. And I've been worrying about it, not constantly, but it's all been in the back of my mind. In 2 or more billion years, I'm probably not going to worry about it that much. I'm assuming that my race will be run. I eat a lot of broccoli, but that's not going to save me, okay? So, so I mean, I don't know. We got to figure something out.
Yeah, so we were a little bit spoiled before. As a nonprofit, most nonprofits don't just have this money that is handed to them from a city or a cable organization. But so now we're going to be just like all the others, and we're going to be scrambling to get grants and fundraising and looking for donors who want to help PATV exist. And so now we have the hard work like all the other nonprofits. The really nice thing is that anybody can go to our webpage, www.patv.tv, and they can make a donation. You can make a $5 donation, you can make a $5,000 donation. And that'll help us keep our doors open just a little bit longer.
Well, yeah, a whole lot longer. I mean, any donation.
Well, $5 might just be a couple hours longer. $5,000 might be a couple days longer, but each little bit adds up and it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. I think Erin just walked in. Yeah.
Aha, she could be a second banana.
She could come in and say hi, too. Oh, she's leaving. Oh, well, maybe she'll come back. Yeah. Well, that's heavy. So I was thinking about jokes. So now, I shouldn't announce that. Maybe I shouldn't have blurred that out in public. But I think I'm going to blur that out is I don't want anybody to think I'm a jazz guitar player. I think I qualify as one because I know that I know a lot of those chords. You see.
You have a reputation of being any guitar player that you want.
Well, you know, when we were talking about raising money, what I was thinking about was I could go out on the street with my banjo, wearing my overalls and a good-sized tin cup, and maybe that would help to raise money.
You could.
It probably wouldn't help much, but it would help, right?
It could, but I liked your idea that you had at our last fundraising meeting of doing a super group.
Yeah, I've been asking around about that. I think there are a lot of people who would do that. I don't know exactly how to structure it, but well, the one guy I talked to is a drummer who could probably show up, you know, on time and sober, which is, you know. I don't know how many drummers. See, I don't know how many drummers you've worked with, but I think he could. So I think if we got that, we're probably okay. You know, bass players, you know. Boy, maybe I could. I've always wanted to be the bass player because I know how to play the bass, but I never get the job playing the bass. I'm sorry, this is a Telecaster. I can't. But yeah. So. But the thing about the jazz guitar player thing that I don't want anybody to think I am a jazz guitar player is because, like, okay, so here's the thing. What's the difference between a rock guitar player and a jazz guitar player?
I don't know.
A rock guitar player plays 3 chords in front of thousands of people. And a jazz guitar player plays thousands of chords in front of 3 people. Yeah. That's how you know. So 2 jazz guitar players run into each other in the street. And one says to the other one, "Hey, man, I just bought your new record. It's awesome." And the other one said, "Oh, so that was you." See, anyway, yeah, cameraman over here gets it. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Well, we have the Jazz Festival in Iowa City.
Right.
So Iowa City's kind of big for jazz.
Well, that's the time of the year those guys get to eat. So.
Come to Iowa City and they eat at all our nice restaurants.
Probably some committee, some nonprofit pays their tab. Yeah. Well, Yeah. Anyway, so I've been looking at a lot of, I think like different, like Ted Green, the jazz, the chord chemist. He liked Telecasters. He's played jazz on Telecasters. You know, Telecasters are usually a blues guitar, and they're certainly a country guitar. Like, you know, they do that fine. But, yeah. Hey, Pedro, a, a, a gentleman is someone who knows how to play country guitar but chooses not to. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm like, maybe I should do jokes, but I shouldn't do jokes. But I'm just, that's what it's turning into. But anyway, so Ted Green and Bill Frisell, who has the advantage over Ted Green that he's still alive. If you ever, I've been watching like videos of Bill Frisell on YouTube, and he's the kind of guy who's got kind of big glasses, and his hair's kind of sticking out funny. He's even older than I am, and tends to wear like cardigan sweaters, so he's my kind of nerd, And he plays different guitars, but he's playing a lot of stuff, on a Telecaster. He's playing like standards. He'll play like a Bob Dylan song from the '60s, but real slow with some somewhat more elaborate chords than the ones that Bob Dylan used. It's sort of like a. The other thing Ted Green used to always do is, like, see if I can do it. Neck bends. Like, wah, shimmering. Anyway, I was just trying to be pretty. Not me personally, it's too late for that, but which reminds me of something. I was, so I have this big plan, and that was to have my Tom's Guitar Show upstairs next week with an all-female cast except for me, of course. So we'd have everything from little girls, like 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, to women of a certain age, shall we say. And yesterday when I was teaching a lesson up there in Cedar Rapids, because I have a community member that I really want to get her on my show, kind of halfway through. Now this is after weeks of things like not being quite ready, and people not being able to make it through the lesson before. These are the students of mine. Most of these women are students of mine. So one that comes to me in Cedar Rapids at Coe College, because they let me use my little office up there in the squalid room 217 at Marquis, or is it Marquis, I don't know, Hall, in the music building at Coe College. They let me teach people from the community, and so there's somebody named Carrie, and she's really, I think she's a pretty good singer, and she's a talented guitar player. She doesn't feel like she's ready, so she said, "Well, I'm not ready," yesterday, and that made me think, oh yeah, because I was hoping she would do this thing, because I have this bass player named Mia who's a high schooler, and I thought, well, she could go she could do the bass and go. I go like that, and then Carrie go do that, but she's not ready. See, so that makes okay. So then I got the two little girls, young girls, Olivia and Sienna. And Olivia, their lessons are one after the other. So I actually have Olivia come 5 minutes early and Sienna to 5 minutes late, so they can practice together with me. And they squabble quite a bit. I'll tell you, there's a certain personality types, and it starts in childhood. I can see that there's one of them that I was just imagining what it'd be like if she's sitting behind a desk somewhere, like when she's 30, and I'm an old geezer trying to get my benefits. That it wouldn't be fun. Anyway, not for me, maybe for her. Anyway, but anyway, I'm sorry. But this is the next generation. So anyway, and then some other people aren't. So there's I'm not sure if anybody's ready. So I think I haven't told young Tom upstairs yet, but. I'm thinking I'm going to postpone this. I really want to do it. I think it'd be fun.
I'm having the same problem with my dancers right now.
Yeah.
I have new dancers who are very young. They also like to squabble with each other.
Yeah.
I tell them, when dance, you can't argue with each other.
Yeah.
Unless you do it with your body somehow. But they're not quite ready, so I'm trying to make adjustments because the spring is when there's always tons and tons of dance things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Recital season, and then you have International Dance Day, and then you have Dance Week and Dance Month, and so there's always things going on in April and May.
Yeah. Well, that's it. April, May. That's when we do stuff. That's when we have our little shows, and that's been the end of the school year. So, I'm even worried about my college students who have to do their juries. You know what that is? Yeah, the jury. Everybody haven't danced, but it's the music faculty, the string department faculty, all sits in a row, and then the students get out, come out one by one, and they play whatever they were supposed to work on all semester. And I have a couple things. I've got to grade them, and I hate to be.
And then what happens at the jury? They get a yay or a nay?
Well, they get comments and things like that, but 30% of their grade is jury, and 40% is attendance, and I don't know. It's like. It's part of the syllabus thing, and I don't know. I mean, it's it's part of the grade. Yeah, it's a good percentage of the grade. So I'm not sure if they're going to be ready. Some guy comes in and says, "Well, I didn't get a chance to practice all week." Now, if it's in my own private studio, I say, "You're a loss. I've been playing guitar all week," But anyway.
So Tom, how old were you when you first started playing guitar?
Well, I didn't actually get a chance to play guitar at all until I was 10, and I didn't get my own guitar and some lessons until I was 11. I didn't get classical guitar lessons until I was 13. I was deprived.
So you felt like you were a little behind the curve.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I did start the violin when I was 6. And that'll make your ears bleed, especially when you're a little kid. And I can share with you, I had a gig as a guest conductor for the Clinton, Iowa elementary school orchestra, which met before school every day. And because I was parenting a very small child, I had to be there I couldn't stay in the motel they got for me, which would have been fine. Because his school starts at 8:15, so orchestra starts at 7:30. I had to drive to Clinton and be there at 7:30. And I have a really big baton. And well, most of us spend me trying to tune those things, actually. And I do know how to tune little violins and stuff. I've been around, but anyway, that takes the enamel off your teeth. That was when my son he's 23, so he was a little baby when I used to do that. A little baby when I used to do that. So he was less than 6 months old, Anyway, so yeah.
Does your son play any instruments?
Not anymore, but well, maybe he fools around with stuff a little bit. He went through a number of them. He played some guitar, played bass guitar, played string bass in the orchestra when he was in.
You guys ever just jam out together?
Not for a long time. He came to me when he was going into high school in ninth grade, and he said he wanted to quit orchestra in favor of more math and science. So, what am I going to say?
Worse.
Well, what am I going to say? I think my dad wasn't all that hot on me being a guitar player. So.
Right, well, yeah.
Well, the one that the boy says to his dad, when I grow up, I want to be a guitar player. And the dad says, son, can't have it both ways.
A grown-up.
And guitar player, yeah, that's right. Okay, all right. But yeah, what am I talking? I'm wasting time. What am I talking? Oh, you're talking about the dancers not being ready. I'm talking about my guitar extravaganza not being maybe ready. I think I'm going to like postpone it. I think I've decided for real right now, at this moment. Maybe you could be in it when
Sometimes you have to talk yourself into things and out of things.
Well, I'm glad we had this little talk,
Yeah,
but I mean, I can't postpone the juries for the college kids,
They're old enough. They've got to do that on their own.
I know. So I'm sitting there with my little piece of paper and say, well, he's making a list and checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty and nice.
Who's getting an A and who's getting...
Yeah, well, you know what a one-legged A is?
What?
It's an F.
Ah.
Like a one-legged A?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Sorry. But that's neither here nor there. I think my students at the other college are doing pretty well, I guess. Yeah. But, yeah, the Chinese guy who's going to go back to China wants to be a composer, and I think this is like his only chance because of trajectories of life. So he's going to get as much as he can out of his, collegiate experience at some little college in Iowa. So I keep loading it on him, and he's like, give me more, give me more. This might be the only chance I get. He's probably saying that in Mandarin to himself, but,
But you interpreted it.
I know what he's saying. It's like I know what my cat's saying. She doesn't speak any English, any human languages, but I know what she's. I understand. Yeah. I mean, I can do. Okay, I can do the French. That's not a problem. I can pretty much follow along in Italian. My Spanish, I pick up enough to know what they're saying. I used to know what they were saying about me in the back kitchen at the Hacienda Las Glorias in Cedar Rapids. They thought I was funny because I'm not Mexican. But I kind of know how to play their music, though, which is how I got the gig. But I'd be with Raimundo. But
Play something.
well, I could play something. Okay, I've decided I'm not going to do that show, but I'm going to do that show later. Thank you,
I
thank you.
love that one.
Yeah, I kept missing though, because I'm not used to playing on a Telecaster. But the one thing about the Mexican Telecaster is it only has 21 frets. The American ones made right 40 miles up the coast. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but who cares?
Is that like Fort Dodge?
No, this is well, I don't know, but no, this is like so. So this is
The
made.
Iowa coast, would that be Minneapolis?
Yeah. No, this is the California coast. You see, so this is so the American ones, of which I have a couple at home. You know, they're made in Corona, California, which is the state of California. This one was made in Ensenada, in Baja, about 40 miles down the coast. You see. And some people say, what's the difference between the American ones and the Mexican ones? They say 40 miles. And I say, well, no, actually, there is a little bit difference. I really quite like the Mexican ones. I think they're well made, and they do them, you know, and Fender built that plant, and they have people who go back and forth between the two factories. You know, they work in both of them and stuff like that. But this has 21 frets, and then the other one has 22. The thing is, I'm kind of more used to the American ones, really, and so when I reach for that last note, that high D, it's a D, isn't it? I'd be embarrassing to say this. Like, this is a C sharp, right? Yeah, right, of course, it's a D, so I don't have a D. I don't have that one D. I mean, you know, sure, first world problems, right? Some people don't even have a C sharp, but, you know, but I have the C sharp. I just don't have the D. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I do have a D because I have those Ds on other guitars at home. Just that, you know, I was reaching for a D because I was on a D chord. So there it is, no fret. Anyway, oh well. Yeah, nobody does a twang guitar better than a Fender Telecaster. that D again. It's kind of fun, but there's a guy that goes in the Tuscan Moon on the weekends sometimes. He's Mel. There's Mel and Lou. Lou is actually his wife, Luann, what they call it, Lou. So for her, I always do see, Louie, Louie. Anyway, but now these are people who are like, well, I may lose by my age, but Mel, her husband's a bit older than that. He's retired. So in his retirement, he was riding a bicycle for a little while, but then he's given up for a motorcycle. So he rides his motorcycle. Sometimes he'll ride to Arkansas and back, just like that, you know. So I don't know if you guys, like you young guys, are familiar with the "Born to Be Wild." I think he might be like a lapsed Mennonite, so it's kind of like, probably never saw the movie, but he knows it, because that's about, you know, big Harley choppers, also known as hogs, Captain America. You know, he's like, born to be wild, get your motor running loose, head on the highway. I can't sing high. On the bass, looking for adventure. Yeah, so I was thinking, maybe I could turn that into a guitar instrumental, like, dare I say, smooth jazz? Like, there you go. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just working. I kind of had it, but this is after I've been playing for 3.5 hours, and I was fooling around with my guitar before putting it away. I know. The other thing is, like, people like to drink wine. I drink coffee when I'm doing the gig. So by right about 10 o'clock at night, I'm pretty well jacked, and I'm ready for anything. And see, play some flamenco, and I go like. Listen, I've only had one cup of coffee, and that was like hours and hours ago, so I'm not. Anyway, so by the way, I will be at the Tuscan Moon this weekend also in beautiful downtown Kelowna, Friday, Saturday night. My advice is if you want to go Saturday night, make reservations and plan to go early. I think there's going to be like a wedding reception in the main rumpus room where I'll be playing, so you might not be able to even get in there. So there's another room next to it, but there's a wall and just a couple of doorways, and you can hear me, but you can't sit there and make faces at me, you know. So anyway, but Friday night I'll be there too, and that'll be a normal night. And I'm thinking about trying to get a gig in town. I didn't know anything about the View. I knew a student of mine who's a guy who gets around quite a bit. He was up at the View once, and he said that somebody was up there singing "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree," and I immediately didn't think I wanted to look at for a gig there. But apparently they have other music up there too, and I didn't realize that. They also have it on Thursdays, so I haven't gotten around to that. I never was really good at looking for gigs, you know, going up and introducing myself. I think maybe one of the greatest moments in all the many, many Three Stooges movies that were made was probably Larry's finest hours. He's going into a restaurant with his violin. He's dressed in really shabby, like really bizarre clothes, like they came from a previous era or something. And he goes up to the restaurateur and says, "You got a nice place here. I think it'd be nicer with a little bit of music." And the guy says, "How much you charge?" You say, "Well, usually you charge $400, but for you I play for $300. He says, "I'll give you a bowl of soup if you're good." And so there's Larry getting his violin out of the casing. I hope the soup's good. See? And that's, you know, that's how I feel when I'm looking for a gig, you know. It's also like when I was younger, you know, I wouldn't really ask women out very much. I just, you know, hang around and sooner or later somebody hit on me. So I'm not going to go up and say, "Do you want to go, can you give me your phone number and I'll call you up and we'll have a date?" And I'm just not going to do that. I say, "Ew, who is this?" You know, so I just, you know, wait for somebody to ask me, you know. Besides, I was pretty busy anyway, you know, really. All the guitars and things. So, anyway, I don't do that stuff. So I was thinking about some of the view, and also there's a big beer hall right in this neighborhood here. The Red Grove, Big Grove. They have music there too.
Oh, yeah.
Which town are we in?
Iowa City.
Iowa City.
Yeah. Well, I thought about playing in town. I used to play in town sometimes. I played more in Cedar Rapids than I have in Iowa City for some reason, but over the years. But I've been playing in Kelowna quite a bit. But I'm trying to book by Thursdays. And one thing I noticed about the View is that they see. I take my little board responsibility, the PATV board, kind of seriously, and we meet on Thursday nights once a month, and sometimes more. But if I don't have to play till 9, you know, which I guess is when they start. One of the saddest things I see is people who are like closing up the bar on Thursday night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they have to be at work at 7, I think, and they've been there all night. You know, I think that's, oh, that would hurt. That would be bad. But
Hey, Tom, you ever played at the Mill?
not recently, but I played there over the decades quite a bit. I'm an old geezer, man. I've been around playing guitar for a long time. I'm always a fringe element. But I used to do like a folk singer thing. You know, ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. If you don't, that's too low. About ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. If you don't know by now. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm a-traveling on, but don't think twice, it's all right. You know, I had 3 weeks of coughing. That was a disease that went through, and I finally caught something. 3 weeks of coughing. I don't have a low D even. How about, so long, sugar pie, babe, where I'm bound to give F, where I can't tell. Goodbye is too good a word, babe, so I'll just say fare thee well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind, you could have done better, but well, I don't mind. You just sort of wasted my precious time, but don't think twice, it's all right, right, F. Well, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna sing anymore. Because I'm not that good at it. Well, no, there's anybody else anymore, right? Yeah.
Do you play any of your own music? I mean,
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah.
Do you write and sing your own songs?
Oh, no, not anymore. No, I did write I did made a record of a bunch of songs. It never got, you know, pressed or anything like that, but yeah. No, I wrote bad songs. And I think it was almost like, you know, there were songs about, not songs about being rejected, but songs about rejecting people, you know, like Leave Me Alone. I wrote a song called Leave Me Alone, you know, like, I don't care for, like, How was I? I don't care for your little black dress, and I'm sick and tired of your aggressiveness. You don't love me, I don't love you. There's nothing much anybody can do. Just leave me alone. You know, things like that. And, things I mean, they were terrible songs. And there was one I wrote with a Missouri Synod Lutheran minister. And what I did was I got a thesaurus and an atlas. And I had all the kind of talking about trot. He said he was trotting to Toronto for some sort of. I'm not a Lutheran or anything like that. It was a pal of mine, you know. I used to play in his church for him, but not as a Lutheran, but as a guitarist. But anyway, yeah. So what we did was think of every. I looked at every synonym for to walk, the promenade to Pouch Cove, perambulate to Porcupine Plain, and all these little towns, little podunk towns in Canada. But I'm trotting to Toronto, way down in Ontario, or to see, you know, way down in Ontario, you see. So you can you can walk to Wabashing, you can step to Sayabec, you can trudge to Trois Pistoles, or trek to Tadoussac, you can promenade to Pouch Cove, or perambulate to Porcupine Plain. But I'm trotting to Toronto to see which way the wind will blow. There's one line, just to see my baby-o, or way down in Ontario. That's the place I want to go, you know. So I went through the whole thesaurus. It was really hard to memorize, so I've forgotten it. This a long time ago. Yeah, I've written a bunch of songs, but they're really terrible. And I think I've got this thing about singer-songwriters because I've got nothing against them personally, necessarily. It's just that if I walk into a place, they're going to think I'm a singer-songwriter. And there's a certain thing about singer-songwriters, you know. I mean, how do you get a singer-songwriter off your porch? You pay for the pizza, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you spray it. Anyway, but, and a lot of times, and there's some that play really well, really interesting guitar parts, but usually it's a very pedestrian guitar part, and their voices are kind of, you know, like this, and they're telling you about their problems. But I don't know, kind of like, you know, I don't know where you hang out, I mean, it's none of my business, but, you know, I've done a lot of blue-collar work, you know, and if you're like on a construction crew as one of the temps, and they resent you anyway because you're not a union man, and you got to carry those like 93-pound sacks of concrete on your shoulder because they can't, you know, put them on a flat and forklift because you have to go upstairs around the corner and, you know, if you say, well, gee, that's kind of heavy, there's the guys, you know, they just laugh at you. You know, thanks for sharing your personal problems, you know, like. I'm feeling, oh yeah, he's either giving me the peace sign or something. So, like, you know, like sharing your, like, you know, if I share my personal troubles, you know, like, nobody cares, you see. So it's not the sort of thing like I would do, you know, I'm not used to doing that, say, like. So that's the problem with singer-songwriters, you know. I go in someplace with a guitar, they figure I'm a singer-songwriter. And they say, oh no, here comes a guy with a guitar, you know. And so I think I subconsciously just like try to be the worst singer-songwriter I could be. But anyway, I don't know. I used to sing better before I coughed for 3 weeks a couple months ago, and I sang with folk songs. I used to do the folk singer thing and like a Chevalier de la table ronde, goûtons voir si le vin est bon. Goûtons voir, oui, 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 goûtons voir, non, 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 goûtons voir si le vin est bon. I mean, stuff like that, you know. Folk singer. Yeah. If I had to, I would, yeah. That's a terrible song, though. They're getting drunk in the wine cellar. But they say that out loud in a family. So. Anyway, this show is about over anyway. I'll be back next week. We're not going to do the extravaganza of female vocalists and musicians. We're going to do that later when we get it together. So I'll be to be announced. Maybe Sarah can dance in it. I don't know. But think about it. We'll do it again. Anyway, that's about it.